guys, welcome back to the Camp Chronicles podcast. In today's episode, we've got another special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name is Hebe. I've done summer camp now for 3 summers, about to go to my fourth summer. I'm from Wales, and I would say what camp I've been to, but I've been to 3 now, so yeah.
How come you ended up going to different camps then? Was it just like you wanted a different vibe each time, or?
Um, so like my first summer, I didn't have a clue what I was like looking at. Like I didn't have a
Mm.
clue what I was doing, so I was like, yeah, kind of signed up late. Literally, like this time 3 years ago, I hadn't even found a camp. And
Mad.
then the summer after, I went to a different one because my first camp was like too big. Like there was only 3 other internationals with me. And then
Oh.
the reason why I did another camp last year was because I had my Canadian visa. So I thought,
Mm.
yeah, I'll just try one in Canada. And then the reason why I'm going to a different one this year is because I'm going back to the same one I did my second year because I really wanted to like do like a different role, like go up the not the hierarchy, but get a progress.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Which camps have you been to then? Do you want a name drop or do you not want a name drop?
Yeah, of course. So my first year, I went to Camp Ozark in Arkansas. I hadn't even
Mm.
heard of the state Arkansas. Like, I was like, what? Where even is this place? My second year, which is the camp I'm going back to this year, I went to YMCA Camp Cullen in Texas. And then last year, went to one in Canada called Camp Walden. That was a really big camp. But
I was
yeah.
Mm.
going to say that's quite the famous camp in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's another Camp Walden in like New York, I think as well. I think they must just be big camp names.
Is that not the one that they go to in the Parent Trap? Is it called Camp Walden, or am I like being
Yeah,
stupid?
I think that's the one in New York because everyone keeps
Yeah,
saying that to me, and I've never watched it, so I'm just like, oh, I'm not sure.
never watched it.
I can't watch films. My attention span is I can
But-
hardly watch TikToks these days.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like The Parent Trap is one of those movies that everyone's like, oh, if you're going to work at a summer camp, you need to watch The Parent Trap.
Maybe I should watch it this year before camp, but
Yeah.
nah, I haven't watched it.
Not yet.
No.
So, how did you originally find out about camp then?
Um, so like it's like one of those things that I've always heard of, and then my one of my friends, her older sister went, and then I just like kind of heard about it, and then I wasn't like enjoying uni, and then I think I saw it come up on like my Facebook or like suggested, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm 18 now, like I could do this, and then I just applied thinking,
Mhm.
oh like probably won't even get in because I didn't even know what I was doing, like yeah.
Mhm.
And then I got through like the interview with the agency, and I was like, wow, oh my God, okay, I'll just go to camp then. And then I dropped out of uni, and then I was going to camp, and then haven't looked back since.
Did you find it hard then, like being so late in the hiring pool? Like, because if you were saying you were hired like about this time, obviously 3 years ago, we were both like, me and Summer, like pretty early on in the season type hires. Was it stressful at that point?
It wasn't stressful because I didn't
Yeah.
even know what I was doing. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I probably won't even get in. Like I can always like take it back. Like yeah, and then I don't think there were many camps like left, but I
Mm.
just picked a random one. Was like, yeah, sure. They sold it to me, so
I think this year around, what I've noticed though is that the hiring has kind of been pretty early on, as in like January and February time. Camps are like getting fully staffed. So I think as
yeah.
the years go on, the more popular it is in social media, the harder it actually is to find a camp because camps are allowed to be pickier because they've got more choice.
Yeah, literally like most of the camps like in like January like they're already full. I think like because like the returners and like camps are so lucky that like they've got all these like TikTokers and people like saying like Camp America is so fun and stuff because like when I first started, oh my God, there was like nothing. Like the only videos that I saw were literally Victoria's on YouTube, and I used to literally binge watch them, but I had no idea what to expect or anything.
I was the same. It was hers, and there was this other girl. I don't know if her name was like Ali or Ali Sheeran. I don't know if she was like Australian or something like that. She was like one of the other ones, and I feel like I must have watched like all of her camp videos like multiple times. But yeah, there was just not very much, was there? And now there's like
Yeah.
obscene amounts of stuff.
Literally, and now like I was like watching all them. I had no idea what to expect. I feel like people these days they just know everything. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
I was speaking to a girl actually that's come into my camp, and like I was saying, I was like, I added that to the Snapchat group chat, and I was like, it's pretty dead in the Snapchat group chat at the minute, honestly. Like, there's not very many people talking, like, nobody's really asking questions. And she said to me, she was like, to be honest, like, I probably wouldn't need to ask questions, because if I had a question about anything, I'd just go on TikTok and I'd be able to find out. I'm thinking, like, oh my
Literally.
God. Like, nobody's going to be asking questions, because literally they can just go on TikTok, what to pack for summer camp, and there's hundreds of videos, and that comes up, and I'm like, oh, that's actually, like, it's great, but it's also kind of sad, because now I want
Yeah.
people to ask me questions so I can talk to them, but they don't need
No,
to.
literally, like in my lead staff group chat, they were like, "Oh, does anyone want to make like a what to pack video?" And I was like, "Of course I want to do that. Like, I'll just post it on my TikTok as well."
Hmm.
No, I think like social media is so good, but then I feel like people like I'm saying these days, I only went to camp for the first time 3 years ago, but people these days, like, they think they see it on social media and it's such a highlight reel. Like, sometimes I, like, post videos of, like, the realities and I'm like, I don't want to, like, ruin it or, like, I don't know, like,
Hmm.
people don't know what it's really like.
We say that all the time in episodes, though. It's like you get to camp and it's not all rainbows and sunshine. It's a 24 hours, 7 day a week job for most people. Like, it's easy to paint a picture on Instagram and TikTok, but in reality, you only see about 5% of
Hmm.
somebody's day in them TikToks. You don't see the rest of it.
No, literally.
Was your camps, all three of your camps, were they overnight camps, or were they like day camps, or?
No, they were all overnight camps. I don't think I
Mm,
could do a day camp because, wait, do you got any of you guys do a day camp?
nah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't do a day camp. I feel like that's like part of the experience, like having the kids stay over and
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, I guess because I've never done it, but yeah,
I think it's like one of those things like you kind of get used to it. I guess like sleepaway camp is the more like traditional experience, but then for a lot of people, sleepaway camp could be a lot more overwhelming. But then like now that I've done it, although it is overwhelming and it's like you don't really get a minute to yourself, I can't imagine working at a day camp and like having all that extra time, because I feel like I just end
yeah.
up spending so much money as well, which I don't need to.
No, literally, because I see this girl on TikTok. I think her name was like Marissa, and
Hmm.
you just go. You have to like buy your own dinners, don't you?
I think so, yeah. Or like some of them,
Yeah.
like, because if I was like living in the city or something, or like living somewhere, I'd be like literally at Raising Cane's every day and I'd be spending
Oh
a
yeah.
fortune.
But then I feel like I'd come back to like my room and then I'd get homesick because like what is there to do?
Hmm.
Like I just sit on TikTok and that's like half the fun. Like the nights at camp.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things is the night times. Like, um, after all of the activities, or we'll have evening activity, and then we'll have canteen, and it's like just chilling with the girls and like chilling in the bunk and having like conversations and debriefs. But I guess for some people, day camps are perfect.
Well, I mean, day camps are good for some people because obviously you do get that little bit more time. So if you're someone that you know, obviously you need that little bit more R&R sort of time to chill on a night away from like having loads of kids there, then that a day camps can be great for that. I mean,
No,
again, I've
but
never been to a day camp, but
yeah. No, I feel like I would really suit a day camp because I really need like my own space. Like most like
Mhm.
days off and stuff at camp, I will literally just like spend them not on my own every single day off, but like some nights off, I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, like how do you guys have the energy to like be with people all the time? Because I need my sleep. Like, yeah.
Mhm. I'll do that, to be fair, some nights off. Like first summer and second summer, I was very much more like into it. Like I'll go off every single night. But then like this last summer and probably like last summer and then this summer coming, I know it'll be the same. Like some nights like I just can't be bothered to go to a bar and like sit and be drinking at a bar. Like I just don't want to be doing that. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't really want to go out. Honestly, like if I could just like go and sit in the staff lounge and like watch some Netflix for a bit, just zone out by myself, like I'd be happy. But like I don't want to be going out like every single time we've got a night off. But then I get FOMO because I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna miss it if something happens. But also I just want to sit by myself, so it's like internal battle.
Yeah, I just get JOMO at this point. Like I love
Mhm.
I don't know, like I say to myself at the start of summer I'm gonna be like really like on my days off, like be with people and like spend time and then I just get to a point where I'm just so exhausted and like I prioritize obviously everyone should prioritize the kids, but I'm
Mhm.
so would rather have more energy for the kids than the nights off, which
Mhm.
is kind of good but then also kind of bad because then it's like by the time it's like nights off I'm like I need to sleep with the kids. Like, and everyone's like, no, you're here for the experience. I'm like, mate, I got to be up at 6. Like, nah.
Yeah, it's something that you have to really prioritize at camp though. Like, you have to listen to your body. I have been that person that's battled with, do I go out and miss out on the FOMO? Because last time I missed out, it was like the greatest night anybody's ever had, which is always said. But I think listening to your body is so important at camp, because you will reach levels of exhaustion that your body's never felt before. And if your friends like begging you to come out because they want you to come out, and your body's telling you don't do it, don't give in. Have that night where, you know, you might leave the bunk while the kids get settled for an hour, go to the staff lounge, then come back and get into bed. If you've got the younger kids, I think it's a little bit harder for the older girls if you've got them at camp. But really, like what we've all three of us have just said, listen to your body, because the exhaustion is next level.
Did you find like there was much of a drinking culture on your nights off at your 3 camps, or did it vary between the camps?
So my first year at camp, like we weren't allowed to drink, like days off, nothing. Like it was so strict.
Mm-hmm.
Like people like fully got sacked for like drinking on days off.
Mm,
Which obviously like they've put a rule out and they've broken the rule. And then like
yeah.
the second year, we were allowed to like drink on days off, like
Mm,
outside of the camp. And like they were like, just don't tell us, like whatever. And
mm-hmm.
then like last year at camp, we were fully allowed to drink like nights off. Obviously, you're not coming back to camp like hungover or whatever, but like
Mm,
we didn't really like go for like nights off. Like at my second year at camp, like we did go to this like bar and like everyone was like line dancing. That was pretty fun. But then we just kind of stopped doing that. But I wish there was more of a drinking like thing at like that's what I kind of I'm sad about. Like there's never been
yeah.
like a nights off drinking thing.
What about like normal nights off then? If you weren't really kind of going out drinking as much, like bars and things, what did you usually do on your nights off?
We used to just go to Target, Walmart, have
Mm-hmm.
like good food out. I honestly can't really think. Like
Yeah.
my first year at camp, we only had like 1 day off every 2 weeks. We had like one night off, but like we weren't allowed to leave the camp. And then
Mm-hmm.
like last year, we had like 1 day off. And then like people would go into the town, they'd like rent like Airbnbs, hotel, then you can go out drinking and stuff. But it's
Mm-hmm.
never like any of like the TikToks I see of like Tyler Hill especially. I never haven't really seen any like party ones from yours. But like that looks so much fun.
Yeah, we have a local bar that we go to. It's called Wayne on the Hill. It's about 25 minutes away. And even though they're very relaxed and they let us go and do it, like they're very strict as soon as you step foot back on camp. Like you have to be sober. Like as soon as you're on duty, like you're on duty, it's your responsibility type of thing. Um but yeah, on like night off we usually do Wayne on the Hill. But when you mentioned there about Target and like Walmart and stuff, can we just like explain the joy you have when you leave for a night off and you get to go and walk around
Mm-hmm.
Walmart? Imagine like at home if you turn around and said, "Oh, like tonight when I finish work, I'm gonna go and walk around Waitrose, or I'm gonna go and walk around Morrison's, or like Asda." You'd be like, "What weirdo?
Literally
Get a
get a
life."
life.
Yeah, but not in America.
No, but that's
Mm.
what I was like when I came back, like from like traveling. Like I was so excited to go to Tesco's, and it really did feel like I was in like America, like going to Walmart for the first time. Like it did feel like that. But like, yeah, like even just going to like Walmart and like for food on like nights off, that was all the excitement I needed. Like, yeah.
Mm, yeah. Did you have like was your camp in or all 3 camps again in like areas where they were like close to a lot of things, or was it quite hard for you to get places? Was it far like in the middle of nowhere?
No, all of my camps have been literally in the middle of nowhere.
Mm,
Like at least like 40 minutes to get to like Walmart or whatever. Like last year at camp in Canada, there was no Walmart. It was just like little small shops, but honestly, it was all
mm.
we needed.
Mental. I mean, like, I feel like I'm quite lucky. Like, Summer's camp, obviously at Tyler Hill, does like a whole day trip during orientation to Middletown Mall, which is literally like a 15-minute drive from my camp, Camp Echo. And it's just some like, we'll just go there on like most nights off, go to the mall and the Target and the Walmart and everything nearby. Whereas for like Tyler Hill, they do that as like a full day trip to that mall.
That would be so nice, but I feel like then I'd just spend so much money because like we'd only ever go to
Mhm.
the mall like one time during summer just for like a day off. Like actually, at the camp I'm going back to this year, we all have the same day off, which is so good because it means like no one's left out, like everyone is all in it together.
Mhm.
But we could only just go shopping to like Walmart, but it's
Mhm.
kind of fun.
How does that work? If all staff are off at the same on the same day,
Yeah,
what
so
happens to
the
the
kids,
kids?
well, the kids aren't there. The kids arrive on Sunday at lunch, and then the kids
Mhm.
leave Friday evening. So then we have like
Mm.
Friday evening to like Sunday at like 11 o'clock in the morning off. And then
Mhm.
that's like the Friday night is usually when we go to the bars. And then the Saturday we do something. Like one time we like went on like a really like long road trip, like in
Mhm.
Texas. It was like 4 hours. So we left at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And then we stayed the night, Saturday night. And then we got back literally like Sunday. And then the kids came.
So is it the same kids like every week, or is it like a different group of kids that are just there for the week and then they go?
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot people have the same kids like the whole summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like different kids every single week, which I love. Like last year at camp, for the first time, we had the same kids for 7 weeks, and honestly, I prefer like new kids every week. Like
Mhm.
I find it better.
Do you think it was just like easier to kind of manage them? Like, did they weren't like getting bored as easily, or what was like made it better?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it was like that because it was like yeah, it was repetitive because we had the same like Wednesday nights were ice cream social night, and like towards the end of the summer it was a bit like repetitive. But then it was
Mhm.
like the kids would be so excited on the Sunday they'd come, and it's like brand new kids, and like if the kids were like a bit misbehaving, you'd be like, oh, it's fine because they leave on Friday. But then also
Mhm.
it's sad because like obviously they weren't misbehaving a lot, but like when you like built like a good connection with the kids, and like then you'd be saying bye to them, and it'd be like
Mhm.
so sad.
Mhm.
I couldn't imagine doing leaving day every single week. Oh my god, my emotions just would not be able to cope with that.
No,
Mhm.
but I feel like because they're only there for a week, you don't get as close to them in a
Mhm.
week. But like you still get like close enough. Like in like an ideal world, some kids you'd want them to save the whole summer, and then yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to know, or if you know this answer, do they like come back every year the same week?
I don't know because I've only been
Mhm.
to every camp once. So, but I think some of the kids like come back again, but it's not like like with some of like the bigger camps like Tyler Hill and whatever, they like it's like they've grown up at the camp and it's like the same kids. Like that's what it was like at camp last year. But this
Mhm.
is just like some like random kids that want to do it and then yeah.
Yeah.
Because with my camp, it runs for 7 weeks, the same kids. But with Ellen's at Camp Echo, yours is a little bit different, isn't it? You have
Yeah.
like kind of, is it 3 sessions or 2 sessions?
The kids are either there for the full 7 weeks, which I would say most kids are, or they can come for the first 4 weeks, or they can do the last 3 weeks. So it's kind of like one full big session, or they can do like a smaller one. But for the most part, I would say most kids are there for like the full 7 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's what it was like at camp last year. Like we'd have like people leaving and then like but for like the last 2 weeks of summer, we literally had three kids in the cabin, which was kind of crazy.
That's mad.
With like seven counselors. It's like we
Yeah.
just weren't needed.
What age group of kids have you worked with then? Has it always been the same age, or have you kind of varied?
Guess what age do you think I have?
I would say like the 9, 10 year olds. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I'm going middle camp as well.
Oh, interesting. No, always the youngest kids. Like, I feel
Mm.
like the youngest kids are the best because they're so excited. And obviously you have like your ups and downs and like sometimes, they're really like homesick or like they
Mhm.
can't like get dressed themselves. But they're so excited to be there and they're just like
Mm.
but then I have been with like the middles from like 9 to 10 or 8 to 10 and like I feel like that is like the perfect age because then they're like fully know what they're doing,
Mm.
having fun, yeah.
Mhm. Did you find it like hard? Like, would you say like there's anything that you would recommend like someone going into camp for the first time and they were put with like the youngest kids that you could like give any sort of advice?
Honestly, like, just be patient because I
Mhm.
was like the least patient person ever before going to camp. But like my mum used to always say, like, Hebe, like, how are you even gonna work with kids? Like, but then it's just like you just get used to it and like you just gotta understand like the kids are there, they waited the whole year for this. Like I don't know,
Mhm.
like
Obviously, when we go to America, we talk about this whole like culture shock. Did you find that there was much of a culture shock between the American camp you went to and the Canadian camp you went to?
yeah, I feel like the American camp, like that's why I'm like kind of going back to Camp America as well because like the American camps are more like people always ask me like the difference between Camp Canada and Camp America, and I never really know what to say. I just
Mm.
the way I can only describe it is like Camp America's got more like spark. It's more exciting. It's more like days off are so much more like obviously I've only ever been to one camp in Canada and two in
Mhm.
the US, but like it's just more exciting in America. Like days off in Camp Canada were more like chill. Like we went to this tiny town, we'd stay like at the lake. Whereas Camp America, it's more like last year at Camp Canada, we hardly ever like sang songs or like chants or anything. Like it was just completely different.
Actually, one thing that did want to ask about is like the cabins that you lived in and how they varied because I saw your TikTok the other day of like one of the cabins, I don't know obviously which camp it was, but it was like really dark wood and it didn't have the toilets in the cabin or something, or it didn't have the showers in the cabin. You had to go to like
Yeah, that was at
yeah.
camp last year in Canada. Like that was literally like living. Like it's literally like someone like plonked like a cabin in the middle of the woods. Nothing else there. But the cabin I lived in Texas, my second year. Oh my goodness, the cabin was so nice. Like I could fully live there for all my life. Like it was so nice.
Did you get aircon? I feel like in Texas you would need aircon.
Oh my goodness, like first year we had no AC and mate, you'd go
Ooh.
to bed and you'd actually be dripping with sweat. Like your back would be stuck to the mattress and it was disgusting. Like you'd have to have a shower in the morning. Whereas like
Mhm.
yeah, in Texas we had AC and it was like sometimes too cold in the cabins.
That's what I find at my camp. Sometimes it can get too cold with the AC on.
Mm.
Yeah, and then you
I
walk outside and it's like walking into a room with like where the heating's been on full blast and you're like
Mm. Sadly,
Literally.
I cannot relate to any of that. We don't get AC. Although I do get my own room this year, and I'm pretty sure I'll get little AC unit in that. So that'll
yeah.
come back to you.
Wait, what's you guys' job this year?
So I'm going back as like at my camp it's called assistant village lead. So basically, like there's like head of girl side, and then there's like head of lower camp and head of upper camp. So I'm basically going back as like head of upper camp. So like 8th, ninth, 10th, 11th grade. So I get my own room, which I don't actually know how to feel about, but
Oh my, I feel like I wouldn't like that. Like it's my first year like not living with kids and I'm like I'm scared. Like it's not going to be like camp.
yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, because like I love obviously sitting in the cabins and just like waffling with the girls. Like I'm obviously always with the older girls, and they've always got some sort of like Raj story to tell. So I was like that, and I'm thinking like I'm just not gonna find out any of the crack because I'm gonna have my own room. I'm gonna have to just go and plonk myself in all the cabins every now and then to see what all the crack is.
Yeah, literally. Hey, Summer, what's your job?
So I'm a group leader again for my girls this year. So I know I'm definitely still in bunk. Kind of a little bit jealous, only slightly, that you're out of bunk just because you can have all of the fun of sitting and debriefing and doing all of that stuff, but then you
Mm.
get the opportunity to obviously go back to your room and like breathe and
True.
decompress from the day. But also at the same time, like I just couldn't imagine not being in bunk with the kids. Like you
Yeah,
just
like that's
said.
why no, I'm still like in a cabin but just with other lead staff. So I guess it'll still be fun to like talk with them and stuff, but like not having kids, like that's half the fun, like half the excitement.
Yeah. So you've always been like a general counsellor basically, or have you done like any sort of activity counsellor type roles or?
My first year I was an outdoor adventure specialist. My
Mm.
second year I was high ropes and in the cabin, and then last year high ropes in the cabin.
Oh, how did you
Yeah.
find high ropes? Was it like the same pretty much at camp across like the camps or very different?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like obviously different things, but
And what's your role this year then back in Texas?
I'm an activities coordinator, which is
Ooh.
Ooh.
exciting. So basically it's like I'm in charge of like running the evening. Bearing in mind, like obviously that's still a great job, but there is only like I don't know how, like this is crazy comparing like my camp to your camps. Like there's only like 10 lead staff, I think.
Mm,
The rest are just like counselors and stuff. Um, so like that's still pretty good, but like there's only like 200 kids every session. I don't know
mm.
how many kids you guys have.
I think we're like maybe near 500-ish, I think,
Yeah, I'd say.
across boys and girls side.
Oh, so
Wow,
yeah,
that is a lot.
probably is double for
Oh my
me.
God.
Because I
Wow.
That's
know
crazy.
there's 90 just in freshmen alone,
See,
and
that's
that's
crazy.
just on girls' side.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's too much.
Yeah.
Imagine 90 little freshman kids running around.
Yeah.
No.
I don't even
That's
know what
mad.
freshman is, so.
Freshmen's like the 7-year-olds, the youngest
Uh,
kids on camp.
90 of them,
Yeah.
those kids. Wow.
See,
I,
we like with freshmen, we only have like, well, it's like third and fourth grade for us, and there was only one third grade bunk, and there was like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 11 kids in that bunk on girls' side, and then the fourth grade bunk for the first session, there was only one bunk of kids again, same 10, 11. So we probably like over the whole summer maybe had about 25, 30 freshman girls. Like,
yeah, that's
that's
like us.
crazy.
Yeah, that's literally like us. I forgot I didn't actually explain what my job role is. Basically, what my job role is, so I'll be in charge of like the evening events,
Mm,
but then I'll also be in charge of like placing kids in clubs because in the morning we have like clubs and then in the afternoon it's like free for all. So then I'll just be in
mhm,
charge of like putting counselors, but mostly like the evening programs, which is like a fun lead stuff. Like it's not like I'm
mm.
directly telling people what to do, which I kind of like.
What is like the programming differences between Camp America and Camp Canada that you've seen? Like, is the activities during the day different? Like, what's kind of the differences?
Um, Honestly, it's pretty similar, but like I feel like in my head it's like different because the camp I went to last year was massive, whereas the camp in America was tiny. Um, like the only differences were like the weather and like how big it was and how like all the Canadians had like grown up at the camp and like been there all their life and like the facilities as well. Like there was like a full on like staff room. I think most camps have this, but at my second year camp in Texas, we didn't really have like a staff area. We kind of just had like a tiny room, whatever, or like
Mhm.
wherever's free. Whereas like last year at camp, because it was so big, there was a full on like staff room area with like fridge and it was just
Ooh.
amazing. It was good.
Did you never like think, or did you ever think actually this year about like going to a different camp again? Or were you just like set on like wanting to kind of like try and move up the ranks a little bit, I guess?
Um, well, I wasn't actually gonna do camp this year because I was like, I need to use my Canadian visa, but then I was like,
Mm,
oh, like I can't imagine not doing camp. Like I'll just get serious FOMO.
mm,
Um, and like I thought like maybe I'll do a new camp, but then I was like, I can't keep like meeting new people and like going to different camps and just like, yeah, it's fun, but like it's so sad because like some of my best friends are going back to the camp that I went to this year in
mhm.
Canada, and like they're all gonna be having fun without me, and it's so sad. But then it's like at camp last year. I was like thinking the same thing about the camp in Texas. I was like, all my friends are having fun without me. And now I'm
Mm.
coming back to the camp in Texas and all my friends have gone. So it's like, why am I going back to be on my own?
Starting fresh.
Literally.
So, with your camp, obviously in Texas, the one you're going back to being like activities coordinator, etc. If the kids are only there for like a week, do you have the sort of like traditional like colour war type things that you see at most sleepaway camps, or is that just not really like a thing at yours?
So like we're all in like four teams throughout the whole summer, like orange, red, green, and blue. And you're
Mhm.
like all the staff are in the same teams. And then when the new kids come, you do like orientation. Not orientation. Yeah. Orientation on
Mhm.
the Sunday. All the kids get put into like the different groups. We go off, we do the chants, and whoever wins the chants, and it's like for the whole week you're like you get points from like different activities. And then like by
Mm.
the end of the week, they'll announce the winner of the week. So one week it'll be like orange, and then like whoever wins the most weeks then wins on the last week, and then they win the summer.
Mm.
So it's just kind of like a
Mm.
smaller version,
Yeah.
which is quite fun because like it's just like smaller but still the same
Mm.
kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, like how obviously, like every camp will do it different. I mean, we actually did make a whole episode talking about like color war and stuff, but like some of the stuff we do is like this. It's the same thing, but it's like done so differently. And I think that's going to be the case across like all camps. So like again, going back to social media, like when people obviously look at things on social media and be like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna go and do colour and I'm gonna go and do this, I'm gonna do that. You might go to a camp that does it totally differently. So it's just like a case of not getting too like hyper fixated, like I want to do this and this is the only reason I'm doing camp. Like
Oh
just
my
be
God, yeah.
open.
Yeah, like we
Mhm.
had Colour War first, like for the first time, like at camp last year, and I was like so confused. I was like,
Mhm.
what is going on? Like it was like such a big event. Like we'd like wake up so early in the morning and like I was just like confused, honestly.
It felt like you were first time like staff member, like first time doing camp.
Literally. Like it was like all like the Canadians and all the kids were like they've been waiting for this moment like since the day they were born.
Mhm.
But I was just there like, yeah, go green.
So what does a typical day look like at your camp then? Because by the sounds of things, it runs pretty different to mine and Ellen's. We're quite a similar camp.
Um, so basically, like you wake up at like 7:30, you get changed, obviously, and then like
Mhm.
you get ready for the day. Like you fully, if you've got swimming, you've got to put your swimming costume on, and then we go raise the flag. We say like a few chants, whatever. Then we go have breakfast. Straight after breakfast, then we have the morning show, which is like, what's the weather gonna be like, and like a few songs and chants, and this is all at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how I do it. And then after the morning show, like whilst we're doing morning show, people like set up like the ropes course and stuff. And then after morning show, everyone will go their separate ways. And in the morning is like clubs. So clubs are like what the kids do to like get better at every single day. It's like more like intense and like learning.
Mhm.
So we'll do clubs in the morning and then like three different clubs. And then we'll line up outside, we'll go to lunch. After lunch, then we'll have siesta, I think it's called. And then we like chill in the cabins. It's usually like silent time for the kids to like decompress and like, because I know like the siesta's like different at every camp. Like some camps you have to like fully get the kids to do stuff, but at camp, like the camp I'm going back to, it's more like you just get like a snack, sit in the cabin, read a book, which is kind of nice
Mhm.
because the kids kind of need it, or you can have a nap. And then after that, we have like 2 hours of like free for all. Like kids can do literally whatever they want. And then after that, it's straight to dinner. And then after dinner, we have like a bit of a break again. Like let's say it's the ice cream social, the kids will get ready for the ice cream social, and then we'll go to the ice cream social, and then it's meds, and then shower time and bed.
Bedtime.
Sorry, that was a really long-winded explanation.
No.
No,
It's
that's
like I
perfect.
feel like they're quite similar, but then also different at the same time. Like I think most camps will probably have the typical like get up, flag raising, breakfast, you do your morning activities, you have your little siesta, rest hour, and then you have your evening, you got your afternoon and then dinner, evening. And it's all like kind of the same, but it's just like done differently or like they're called different things and stuff like that, which is interesting.
Yeah, and like the timings are like different as well. Because at camp last year, we didn't go to breakfast till like 9 o'clock in the morning. Whereas like
Mhm.
at the camp in Texas, we'd have to be at the flag at like 7:30. Breakfast started at 7:45. Like that was a
Oh.
long day.
Was that the same for the older ones as well, or was that like just with the younger ones?
Nah, everyone.
My camp's like, so what time? Reveille goes off at 8:15, flags at 8:30, and then the lower camp kids go straight down to breakfast from flag, and then upper camp breakfast is about like 9:15, I think. So like for me having the
Oh,
older ones, like they go to breakfast like quite late. It's like split across two.
so do you only have like one dining hall? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got like one big dining hall, but like some of yours is split boys and girls, isn't it? Like they don't
Yes,
kind of.
we have one big dining hall, but then like you've got the double doors that you walk into, and to go if you go at the left, that's boy side. If you go at the right, it's girl side. And then the CITs usually have their own little area as well.
That's quite interesting. Like, yeah, we just honestly we all sit together in the same dining hall and then
What's your food like at camp as well? Is it like buffet style, or is it like you just got to bring like they give you the plates and you take them to the kids, or how is it run?
this is like a crazy question because like every time you ask me questions, like I've got like three different camp experiences like
Like,
going through my brain, like which one am I gonna pick? Um, for like the first year at camp, like the food was really good and we'd go out with our plates and then they just like plonk stuff on. And food was good. And then the second year we had like massive trays. We'd eat like family style. And then one person will go up, get the tray. We all have plates. And then if you run out, you get more food. And then at camp last year, oh, it was family style again. Like you just get like a massive tray. What was it like at
Mm.
yours?
Mine's like buffet style pretty much. So like whatever like the meal is that day. Like I'm not actually sure about the lower camp kids whether the youngest ones probably won't go up and obviously get their own food, but like me having the oldest ones, like they just go up, they get their plate, and they just like take what they want from like the buffet kind of things. It's not really like ever served like family style. The only time when it's served family style is if it's like specific like theme nights. Like we'll have Jewish appreciation night, and then they do like sports bar night, and it'll be like mini pizza bagels and like just different things where it's like if that was like left for free reign for the kids, like there would just be none left. One day, actually, this is the downside of kind of buffet style. Although this is not served like a buffet, it comes on a platter, like a plate. The desserts, there's brownies, right? Whenever they do brownies, the kids go wild, right? And it's
Yeah,
not like your normal sort of like thick brownies. It is more like a cakey brownie, I would say. One
yeah.
time we come down for upper camp dinner, and lower camp kids had ate so much brownie there was none left for us upper campers.
I'd be so mad. That's what happened like at my
Human.
camp last year. Like we'd fully like pretend that we lost the chip to get second rounds of brownies.
You'd be like, where's it gone?
At my camp, it's like you'll walk in the dining hall, you'll go to your set tables where your division's sat. There'll be a plate on the table of what like that meal is going to be. So, for example, there'll be a tray of mac and cheese, or there'll be a tray of rib and wings. And then, once that plate's used up, you take the counsellors are like the buggies, and they'll take it up to the window, and then they'll get a new amount of food and then put it back on the table. Or we've got a salad bar which kids can go to, and counsellors obviously, to make a salad. And then you've also got like the vegetarian option, which usually is like white rice and whatever they decide to make. And then we've got a little window as well for like the gluten-free kids or the kids like with allergies, and they go up there and get food there. So there's kind of loads of different ways it works. We also have like food court style food. So you literally walk in the into the dining room, and the support staff will be serving you different types of pastas or different types of fries. You've got different types of chicken. Like, you don't actually realize how much fried chicken you can get in different types of fried chicken. So that's how we do it. Or I'm pretty sure on Lazy Wednesday we have a rolling breakfast. So on a morning, one of the campers or the counsellors go together. They get like loads of muffins and yogurts and stuff like that, and put it in a paper bag, and you can have it back at the bunk. And then we have barbecue that night. So outside they'll do like a barbecue situation. Thank God I'm not there for Lazy Wednesdays, because I would not eat that night. And
Wait, you
on a
don't like
lunchtime,
barbecue?
I don't like camp barbecue. It's not for me.
Oh, that was like the best night ever.
Same. I love
Yeah,
camp barbecue.
99% of my campers, in fact, probably 100% of my campers would agree with what I've just said. We're not big fans of barbecue. But also they'll on a lunchtime they'll have like different bagels and stuff that they can go and get, and cream cheese and stuff. So yeah, but I have heard a rumour that I could possibly all be changing this summer.
Ooh.
Oh, exciting. Yeah, we have
Ooh.
like salad, like we have like a salad bar and stuff, but like nothing. Like I saw like I always see like people on TikTok with all this like really nice food. Like what's her name? This girl from Australia, not
Hmm.
Geordie, but someone else, and she literally gets like iced coffees at lunch. Like that's crazy. We would never have that.
We can do
Well,
that. We get that. Um,
No, now I'm jealous.
Yeah, basically, so at the new staff lounge that got built last year, there's a whole coffee bar, and someone's meant to be down there from support staff, like making you 9 times out of 10 you go there and there's going to be no one there. But what happens
So,
is there's a tray of ice usually. There's two coffee stations. What you'll do is, the JCs usually have like loads of the plastic cups with the lids on. Not very environmentally friendly. Sorry for anybody listening. Um, but they'll put all the ice in, then they'll do the coffee, and then we get usually first thing on a morning and at lunchtime they'll bring out, you know, the creamer that everyone loves,
Yeah.
the vanilla creamer. They'll put that in the ice tray, and then you can make yourself an iced coffee, and it's like
I feel
heaven.
that would literally sort me right out. Like if I had an iced coffee in the morning at lunch, or even just at lunch, like that would push me through, and I'd be on top form.
Mm. We have like a little coffee machine in the dining hall and the kids can use it. Obviously not the little kids, but like the older kids. But I'm not a coffee drinker anyway, so I really wouldn't know. But I'm like 99% sure that it's decaf. There can't be like in fact I'm pretty much 100% sure that it's going to be decaf, but like the girls will go up and make themselves a little iced coffee and they'll literally just put the ice in the cup and get their little decaf coffee and I'm thinking like this is not doing anything for you. Or actually though, with having the older ones, just speaking about coffee, they go crazy for Starbucks. Like whenever we have trips like out of camp and stuff and they're allowed to spend the money and they've got free will in the outside world again. Like we could literally be, I don't know, like we're in Boston and we're at Quincy Market and there's like all this cool stuff and it's like, oh my God, Starbucks. Like they just want to make a beeline for Starbucks. And I'm like, you're like 15. Why are you this addicted to coffee already? It's crazy.
No, I remember that. Like, it's like when you go shopping for the first time on the bus, like when you're at home and like you go to Starbucks
Hmm.
and you take a photo of it and you're like, wow, I'm so cool.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Do any of your camps do any trips out actually? Or with you having the younger ones and being activity, did you not really do too many trips out of camp?
Um, no, we never took the kids out of camp.
Mm.
Actually, no. Sometimes the kids would stay on the weekends, like at the camp in
Mhm.
Texas, and then they'd go to like water parks or like
Mm.
the cinema maybe. But that's it, like, because they were only staying for a week, the kids wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Summer had a great time at the water park, didn't you, Summer?
Yeah, and if you want to hear about that, you can listen to another episode because I'm still scarred for life. Um, Swimsuit malfunctions, water parks, not for
I feel
me.
like lots of people have like they when they take the kids to water park, it's like such a big like drama and like so much stuff
Mhm.
happens.
Well, I
Yeah.
found out that last year we went to said water park where incident happened in 2022, and then I found out this year I was like, get in, I get to escape water parks, and then I thought to myself, wait, no, because the juniors last year came with us to the water park when we went. So that means I not only have to go back to that water park again for the third time when there's only 4 rides there, and I don't like water rides, but also on our actual trip when we take our kids like away from camp, we go to Hershey's and Dorney, and I'm pretty sure Dorney's water park as well. So yay,
Mm,
2 water
it
parks.
does.
I love water parks. I prefer them to like normal parks. I feel like they're less scary.
Mm. I do like water parks, but my only dilemma is that like I do burn quite easily and like having to top up the sun cream is
Oh
just not for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, that is rough.
Yeah. What about like traveling wise as well, like post-camp travels? Have you done much like each year? I'm assuming you will have done something.
My first year, like, because there was only two other internationals, we kind of like were
Mm.
planning it, but it honestly got so bad that we were just like we weren't allowed our phones either. Like they were literally locked away. So we were just like, this
Mm.
is impossible to plan. So we just wanted to go home because we were like done as well. We were like exhausted and we didn't get much time off and yeah. And then my
Yeah.
second year, I was like determined to travel, but then like I didn't like no one else really wanted to travel. And then finally I like made this friend and then we went to like San Francisco, Las Vegas. That's it. We just went for like a
Mhm.
week, but we spent so much money because like we were on such a time crunch, so we had to get like Ubers
Mhm.
everywhere, and it was stressful.
Yeah. Postcam travels are hard to plan. And like that's actually insane to me thinking about the fact that there was only you and like two other international like staff members at the camp. Like that just seems crazy. How come did they just have such a high rate of like American staff or they just didn't need internationals or
I think because like usually the hire person goes to the UK and like hires people, but I think because of COVID, I mean COVID was like kind of long gone, but I don't
mm,
know. Like I feel like he just didn't. I don't know because I got hired pretty late as well, so maybe he just thought I don't
mm,
know. There was loads of Americans there, so maybe. But then it was so weird because then I looked like the year after on the Instagram, and there was so many internationals. Honestly, I felt kind of betrayed. Like
yeah.
there was like 30 internationals. I'm like, where were they when I was there? Like, but honestly, the two other people at camp, like the internationals, they were like my best friends, and they still are now. So
Mm.
it was like worth it.
Do you
I
have
bet
any plans to travel this year?
Yes, I would love to go to like Nashville and all the places that I see on TikTok. Like Nashville just looks so good. Yeah.
Hmm. It's
And like I'm
insane.
finally 21 as well. Like obviously I'm just turned 22, but like I haven't been in the US doing camp since I was like, because last time I was like 20, so I couldn't really do anything.
Mm.
But now it's like, yes.
You're gonna go wild this summer.
Literally. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I feel like Nashville's definitely like a place to go. I mean, like I've been twice and I would love to go back this year, but I just don't know if we're gonna be able to fit it into a travel route. And like summer's been before as well, and we both say definitely go to Nashville.
Yeah. Wait, this is like completely off topic, but didn't you meet
Mm.
your boyfriend at camp?
Yeah, I did.
Is he going
I,
back again?
nah, not going back, I
Oh,
know.
that's so
And like
sad.
Carl, who is like one of the guys, he does all the hiring for us basically. He was like begging him to come back, and I was like,
Oh,
look, if I can't get him to come back, like, how
yeah.
do you think you're gonna manage to get him to come back? But no, sadly, he's not. He's got a big boy job, and he's trying to make that money. But we're doing 2 weeks in Orlando, like at the end of my travels, and he's flying out for that. So I'll at least see him, and we'll get like a 2 week American dream rather than a full three
Yeah,
months.
that'll be so nice. Like
Yeah.
the dream to like actually meet like a boyfriend at camp is actually like yeah, I don't know how people do it. Like when I saw like you had on your TikTok and I was like, wow.
It
Yeah.
was a few summers in the making, I'll be honest. Yeah, I actually like I put that TikTok on, right? And then like loads of people obviously commenting like and tagging their friends, being like, we need to do it, like this is us, I want to do this, I want to meet a boyfriend. I'm like, obviously like the main reason, by the way, if anybody is listening, you shouldn't go to camp just because you want to meet a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because that's not necessarily gonna happen. Um but then like other people were like, oh, so happy it worked out for you, but it just did not work out for me and this stuff. And I was like,
Yeah, no, I think
sorry.
that video was the first video that I found of yours because I only like found you on TikTok like a couple weeks ago. And
Uh-huh.
then I was like, wow, like that's actually the dream. But like honestly, I said this on TikTok a few weeks ago and I was like, if you go to camp with a boyfriend, you probably come back without one. Or if you go without one, then you get one.
You
Or
got
if
it
you
on, yeah.
like it's literally just crazy.
Obviously, going back to camp when you first went, you were what, 18 when you first went?
19.
And 19. And then obviously like the years go on, we get older. And like I'll be 25 going back this year, which is like ridiculous. I feel a bit sick.
Yeah,
Um
same. For
but
me,
like
yeah, not you.
but like we spoke about this with Ellie in the previous episode about like how when you're at camp, like age kind of does just like go out the window a little bit. Like you don't realize sometimes that like your best friend co-counselor is like, well, obviously there could be 18 for me, and they're like 7 years younger than me, and it's like like at home that was just like weird. Like I'm not gonna knock around with 18-year-olds, but then like when you're at camp, you just don't really realize, do you? Like weird.
No, literally, like my sister could go to camp next year, and she's my youngest sister. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I could never imagine like working with her at camp. I was like telling her yesterday whilst we were on a walk, I was like, Flo, like you're way too immature to go to camp. But then I'm like, no, I can't be saying that because then it's like you meet people and they're 18 and they're like, oh. But in my head, she's like still 8 years old.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going into your fourth summer now. What is it that keeps pulling you back to camp each year? Because we know you do ski seasons, you do Australia, all them different fun, amazing jobs. What is it that keeps pulling you back to camp every year?
Um, just like the classic answer, like the sun and like you just get to be like a child again. And like I was 22 like last week and like I'm kind of old now, but that's not old, but like it's just like you get to like relive your childhood. It's so much fun. You get to meet so many amazing people and friends, and like they're like the same vibe as you. So I just feel like honestly, like camp top ski seasons and everything so much more. Like it's just so much more exciting, and
Mhm.
yeah, I would do camp like all year if I could.
Same. Me too.
Same, well, yeah.
But then I feel like the spark wouldn't be there. Like it wouldn't be as exciting. So
You just have like a little week break every now and then where you can just go
yeah,
travel, have a little holiday, and
yeah,
then come
literally.
back. Like I'd be revived. I'd be ready. I'd be ready to go again.
Yeah, like the girl who does who's like a director, she's from Scotland. I always see her on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I've seen her.
She is like living my absolute dream. I'm like,
Hmm.
how is that allowed? Like I'm so yeah, jealous.
Yeah. I need to find a way to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, literally.
And to kind of wrap up things, obviously I've just mentioned literally 2 minutes ago about all the different jobs that you do all over the world. What are your plans kind of moving forward now? Obviously we know you've got camp coming up. Have you got any other exciting plans?
I wish I could tell you, but I actually have no idea. Like now that I'm home, like for 2 months before camp, this is like my deciding time of like what to do after camp. And
Mhm.
I was thinking like a ski season in Japan, but then I was like maybe
Ooh.
Australia. Then I was like, oh, have you seen what? I don't know how to say her name. I don't want to like say it badly. You know the girl that's now in Disney, working at Disney?
Oh my God, don't. I've got actual trauma from trying to get a job in Disney. I can't even.
Oh, really? So should I not do it?
I mean, you should apply for it, but I'll explain at a later date.
Okay.
Disney's hard.
Yeah. And I also want to work on a cruise, and I also want to travel like Southeast Asia and Europe, and
Mm,
yeah, but just
everything.
everything. Yeah.
If you need a friend to travel Southeast Asia with, I'm so down for it because I'm dying to do it, but I want
Oh,
to do it with at least one other person. Like, go on the tours, meet loads of new people, but I want to do it with at least one person that I know.
oh yeah. No, that would be good. And like South America as well. I really want to do that. But then I keep telling my parents, and they're like, "No way, you're going to South America." And I'm like it's fine. Like I'll just go on a tour.
So it's been absolutely lovely having you on, obviously, and having a big chat about literally everything. I feel like this episode's been here, there, and everywhere, but like in literally the best way. And obviously, good luck going back to camp this summer. And for anyone listening, head over at Hebe's page. She's got loads and loads and loads of stuff on her TikTok and her Facebook page as well. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in next week's episode.
Thanks, guys.